How's it going, guys? Cheese here at Cheese on Everything. Finally got myself the GoPro Hero 9. It was a little bit of a process on the website. I had to buy the GoPro and 2 extra batteries for them to ship it to Canada for some reason. I don't understand their ruling. But yeah, here it is, the new GoPro. As you guys know, I love my GoPros. I have a bunch of them that I've been filming with. Most of this channel is actually filmed with GoPros. And this is their new offering. So let's do a little unboxing. First and foremost, I really like how they give you a proper case now instead of that plastic acrylic case that goes in the garbage. So not much here. I bought the basic model because I already have a lot of GoPro accessories. It's actually better for you to buy a basic GoPro pack and then buy all your accessories from Newer. Newer has an accessory kit on Amazon for around $40 Canadian, and it comes with every possible GoPro accessory that you need. So I would highly recommend that instead of buying their GoPro accessories because they're really expensive. And here it is, the new GoPro. I've been using the GoPro Hero 7 recently. I never got the 8 because of that non-removable lens. I'm glad they brought it back because that was definitely a deal breaker for me. For comparison's sake, this is the GoPro Hero 7. Straight away you can see it is quite a lot bigger than the 7. And there's not even a battery in it right now. And this one does, but this is still heavier than my old Hero 7. My neck definitely aches after a day of snowboarding with the GoPro on my head, so hopefully this won't add too much to the problem. What I do like is the fact that this doesn't have a housing, so you can just pop this onto the helmet, no case needed. So first problem I can already see, if I put the locking screw on this side, it is going to get in the way of the battery door. Because I usually change my batteries on the lift. If you have it on your head, it's really hard to just feel it out and open this battery door instead of popping the GoPro straight off the mount and then just changing it. But I think as long as you put the screw on this side, it's not going to interfere with the door too much. They have changed the battery, and I have a love-hate relationship with that because now the batteries are bigger. You do get more battery life, but now my 12 or 15 batteries I've had from the GoPro 5, 6, and 7 are now unusable in the 9. But I guess since they need to power a back and front screen now, as well as 5K and all the other stabilizations, they do need a bigger battery to keep up with the camera. And I can't really knock GoPro for that. They've had their old GoPro batteries now for 4 generations, and it is time for an upgrade. Other things that come in the box: a regular GoPro mount, 1 helmet sticky, battery, and the USB-C cable. And you get the little subscription notice from GoPro. So if you buy it off the Best Buy website, this GoPro would cost $599 plus tax, which comes out to $675 Canadian. But if you were to buy it from the GoPro website, I got this GoPro, 2 batteries, and a subscription plan, which gives you a replacement GoPro if you ever break it. For a price of $99, but everything together came up to $536 tax included. So you actually get a much better deal going through GoPro's website. So I just charged the battery up, and it took me 2 hours to charge this battery from 30% to full, which is quite a long time. I'm really hoping that I could get that battery charger soon from GoPro. And that's still a problem because I can't order that GoPro charger by itself for some reason off the website. They just won't ship it for some battery regulations. So hopefully I'll get that charger soon because I definitely am going to need it if it takes 2 and a bit hours to charge 1 battery. And on top of that, I won't be able to use my camera while the batteries are charging. So that's a little bit of a downside. So let's go through some of the options. I just updated the camera to its latest firmware. And even after the firmware update, there is still quite a bit of quirks that GoPro has to work out. And I'll talk about that throughout this video. And you're greeted with the cool Hero 9 logo. So let's jump into the drop-down menu first. First thing I would do is turn the beeps off because that's really annoying. So second, I would turn on the grid. That gives you the rule of thirds. And then the next here is the front screen options. This is on full screen mode. I like to have the actual screen so you can see the whole picture in the front. And third, I lock the orientation so that the screen doesn't keep flipping up and down. So the next feature is the max lens mode. Even without the lens adapter, you can turn this feature on, and it basically mimics the same feature as the GoPro Max. So you can turn this camera 360 and the horizon will stay level. This feature is definitely a game changer. I've been using it on the Max, and it's even better on the GoPro because now you can do 2.7K, whereas the Max I think can only do 1080. Next up, the preferences menu. Generally, I put the beeps to low. It doesn't matter because I turned it off already. Quick capture you can turn on if you want to just hit the record button and it will turn the power on the GoPro and start recording. Auto power off, I change it to 5 minutes so it saves battery. LED by default is all on. I make it front only, so I'll know that I'm recording in the back. It'll show me a red light, but it'll keep this light here off. This is basically your PAL and NTSC settings for America. So I'm in Canada, so 60 Hertz. This gives you the frame rates for 24 instead of 25. Video compression, I turn on H.264 and HEVC. And then time and date, that's pretty self-explanatory. So with the voice control, I keep it off so it doesn't keep monitoring my voice for controls. Display, I have it on landscape, screensaver 2 minutes. And then the front screen is the same as the rear screen. Brightness I have at around 30%. If you're outside, you can turn it up to have a brighter screen, but generally 30% is a good way to save batteries. GPS I also turn off most of the time. Now where it gets interesting is the shooting modes, because now you can set custom profiles like you can on our big cameras, like the Canons and Sonys where you have 3 custom presets. So right now I have a couple of profiles. I have a regular vlog profile. I have an indoor profile which changes the white balance, a slow-mo 120, and also a slow-mo 60. So let me just go through what I would set as my vlogging setup, because that's probably what most people would use this for. So you can scroll down all the way to the bottom and you'll see a plus sign. Just hit that. It'll ask you to select the video mode. You can do a looping mode, or you can do a slow-mo. So obviously I'm going to just do video. The resolution you can change to 5K, 4K, whatever you want. And this is one of the areas where the firmware update hasn't really fixed it yet. I can only see the 4:3 right now. You can't swipe left or right on the aspect ratios. And I haven't been able to actually change it to 16:9, which is what I usually film on. So I think GoPro needs to fix that with the next firmware update. For my vlogging setup, I have 4K 24. The lens mode is linear with horizon leveling. So you can just wave the selfie stick around and still have a level picture. Hyper smooth is on boost for maximum stability. No schedule capture, no duration, no hindsight, timers off. And the Pro Tune is where you can really adjust all the settings. I have the bitrate on high on all my profiles. Shutter speeds on auto until I can get those ND filters. EV comp minus 0.5. The GoPro likes to expose usually for the highlights, so I don't like the highlights getting blown out. So 0.5 minus 0.5 is really good for outdoors. White balance is at 5500. ISO min 100. ISO max 400. I find that with ISO over 400, the image looks really grainy, so don't put it any higher than that. Sharpness, medium. Color is on flat. Raw audio off. Wind reduction always on instead of auto, so that it doesn't keep adjusting your audio tracks. And for shortcuts, I make it really unified so that all the profiles I'm in, all the buttons are in the same place. Lower left is the white balance. Lower right is a zoom. Upper left is the slow-mo, and upper right is the hyper smooth. Those are the 4 functions I found that I use the most. Obviously, you can adjust it to your own liking. And that is the selfie mode. So I've also made an indoor profile, and basically it's exactly the same as the selfie profile except for the EV comp, which I have set to 0, because usually when you're indoor, the lights are dimmer. And the white balance is set to auto so that no matter what type of light that they use in the restaurant or wherever you are, it'll adjust itself to the colors. And that's about it. Oh, and also the wind is set to off because obviously when you're indoors there's not going to be wind. And everything else is pretty much the same. So that is the indoor profile. Now in the epic mode, I have the resolution set to 5K 24. Now the lens, I would have it on linear and not linear with horizon leveling because some of the cinematic shots require you to move the lens around. Hyper smooth, I'd put it on only on. And then the rest of it, high bit rate, shutter on 1/48. Custom white balance at 5500, ISO max 400, everything's pretty much the same. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, hit the like button and consider subscribing. And I'll have a few more real tests of the GoPro Hero 9 soon. So stay subscribed and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.